I need to just mute my microphone. Mr. Bird, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Midgley, and welcome everyone to tonight's information session for Year 12s. Lovely to have you all with us this evening. And I just want to let you know that I think it's been a fantastic start of the year to Year 12, very calm, very smooth, and the students have seamlessly moved into their Year 12 studies, which has been fantastic to see. On the screen there, obviously I'm new to the role this year, taking over from Kalia, who's moved on to Penrose School in Perth, which is a magnificent accomplishment for her, and we wish her all the best there. But things don't change here at AIS. It's still, as you can see on the screen there, our goals for our secondary school students, and I just want to spend a minute talking to you about that. We're at the absolute pointy end with your children, or your young adults now as they are. And what we've strived to do with them is produce young men and women of character. And I think you'll know that in your own children. Many of you on here tonight, I see your names. I know your children well, and they are fantastic young people. And we are just looking forward to what they are going to produce this year. One of the things that I've really, really proud of what AIS does is that we educate the whole student. So I'm really proud of that, and that continues to happen even through their Year 12, where academics are a huge focus. We want them to have that balance. Unfortunately, some of that balance has been taken away from them with the restrictions that are in place, but we are doing everything we can, and some great news that CCAs and representative sport are opening back up again. So I know we've had great sign-ups from the Year 12s for this, which is a fantastic thing, which means they are really looking forward to getting back into that physical activity. I guess for us as a secondary school, we want our students to be lifelong learners, and hopefully your students are really coming to terms with that, and we want them to be people of real passion and want to get better at what they do. So that's what we do. Obviously, those who have been with us for a while know that our programs are diverse and inclusive and allow all of our students to experience success. And that is the thing we want for this group. We want real success for them. So next slide, please, sir. I want to take you back through this because I've done this with all the parent information evenings, and I've done this with the students as well. I'm really big on these guiding statements of the school because they sum us up perfectly. You can see there under mission, we've highlighted two words there, exceptional opportunities. And I think AIS does that in spades with our students and for our staff as well. We give unbelievable opportunities to all in our community, and we do that so that they can flourish. We want them to flourish so they can make a difference for good. Our vision as well, AIS wants to be a globally recognised centre of educational excellence where students consistently exceed expectations. I can tell you the class of 2020 performed magnificently, even under the restrictions of COVID, and something we're super proud of. And all the testing that we do, this class stacks up really well against that as well. So we're expecting big things from the class of 2021. We just got our IGCSE results, and I can say as well, they were the best in the school's history. So we are tracking in the right direction to be that educational centre of excellence where our students consistently exceed expectations. All of that for us at AIS is underpinned by those three values: respect, opportunity, and achievement. I've asked the students to respect themselves, to respect each other, to respect the staff, and most importantly, respect you as parents and show that respect in everything they do, because the opportunity you have given them for them to be able to achieve is what it's all about. And obviously we do that in our tagline down the bottom. We are globally focused. We want our kids to achieve, and some of your kids hopefully will be able to travel the world for their university and be able to have amazing experiences, but do that as part of the Australian International School. So just want to say a massive warm welcome. We do have a couple of new students to Year 12 this year who have made the journey across to Singapore, one boy from Perth and one boy from Queensland, and so that's amazing for them to join us in the Year 12 year. But to most of you who have been around a while, a warm welcome. Please don't hesitate to contact any of us if you need help with your children. Have a great night. I know Mr. Midgley will present fantastically well and give you a great start to the Year 12 year. Take care, everyone. I hope to see you soon on campus.
Thanks very much indeed, Mr. Baird. Excellent introduction. Thank you very much indeed, sir. So I hope my volume is okay for all you guys. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. My name's Mr. Midgley. I'm sure it's familiar to most of you, either from my teaching, or I certainly recognise some names, Mr. Baird said, from the previous siblings which have come through year 12. So why does year 12 exist? What's it all about? Well, I want to create a safe and happy community of learners. We've just had an excellent PD at school, personal development at school, talking about villages, and it's almost like there is the early learning village at the beginning of the school, and now your students are in the year 12 village, or even the year 12 kampung at the end of their journey through the high school. It's not the end in the terms of the final thing, because they are leaders of the school, and that's certainly something I've tried to impress on all the young men and women of year 12. From the outset, the first presentation was telling them all they are the leaders of the school. Yes, they are the biggest in the school, and sometimes they do forget a little bit that those little smaller children in the lower years do look at them and see our lovely year 12s as their future. So it's very important for them to be spick and span, well presented, well mannered, and all these old-fashioned values, which I hold true, and I'm sure you do too. As Mr. Baird said, we want to support these young women and young men of substance and make them ready for the next climb. Clearly, year 12 does not exist in isolation. It's part of a continuum from the previous years, and that will continue afterwards, whatever the journey beckons for each young woman and each young man in year 12. Clearly, some will go on a gap year if circumstances permit. Some will go to national service, some will go to university, some will sit and wonder what I'm going to do next. We are not here to judge what that choice is. We are here to support them on where they want to go. And it is very much them leading their learning and their journey. It's not my journey. As I said to them, it's not my year 12, it's their year 12, and I want them to take charge of it. We also want year 12, as much as it is academically potentially stressful, and certainly has its pinch points, which we're well aware of. We want there to be many happy memories created. I want them to, at the end of the year, reflect, look back and remember having a happy conversation at the lockers in the morning, or bumping into their mate on the stairs, or making a new friend, or maybe even a boyfriend or a girlfriend. But basically, yes, it's hard work. Yes, there's a big mountain to climb, but we do want them to have happy memories and hopefully some cherished memories of their journey through year 12 at AIS. So who are we? We use the analogy of the mountain. I'm kind of obsessed with mountains. You'll get used to me if not so already. I do like to go off into the mountains whenever I can. Clearly, I'm frustrated like everybody else that we can't go and do exactly what we want to do at the moment, but that's not a big deal. It will come back. So we think of year 12 as pushing for the summit. Okay. Of course, from the summit, what do we see? Well, we see lots of other summits. So we climb to the top and we'll see lots of other mountains that we can potentially climb and have fun on. The analogy does bear some interrogation. There will be some steep climbs. Let's call those extended essays, internal assessments, projects, art submissions, construction projects. Let's call climbing on. There may be some ice where we slip and perhaps don't get the score that we intended on a mid-term assessment. My job is to hopefully keep your sons and daughters climbing, regardless of what the weather conditions are or what the conditions underfoot are. This boils down to a wonderful saying, Ichigo Ichie, which means hunters of special moments. So looking for the value and living in the now, being present in the now. So who am I? This is now scarily my 5th year as head of Year 12 Australia International School. I've been teaching for a very long time. I'm not going to say how long, but it scares me. I teach currently years 7 through 10, physics and chemistry, and also diploma chemistry. I do enjoy mountains, as you've probably gleaned so far. I love running around Makrichi and Bukit Timah. I love taking pictures wherever I go, and also doing some YouTubing. There's a picture on the right of the screen of me on a summit called Kalapatar in Nepal with sunrise over Everest just behind me. I really don't like the wrong shoes. So that's particularly true for me if I'm running or climbing, and particularly true for the students who obviously are in their best attire when they attend Year 12. Teaching experience, I've worked in the UK, in Japan, in Yokohama, in Malaysia, in Penang, in Guernsey, which you may or may not have heard of, and currently, as I said, my 5th year in Singapore. One of my favourite poets is Philip Larkin, who said, "What will survive of us is love," which is perhaps one of the more repeatable quotes from Philip Larkin. You have much more recalcitrant things, which you shan't share here. Here are my contacts. Mr. Midgley, there's my email address. I'm sure you can all find it. You already know that, but this presentation is being recorded, and I will put it onto the Connect page straight after this presentation. Clearly, my phone number is there, and I live just opposite Careers on the top corridor of the school. Key dates for Year 12. Now, I hesitated to put this here, but I thought, no, let's have some candor. I think people will respect that. The vision, the dream, is that at the end of this year, we will hopefully all sit together, everybody there, family included, at the Fullerton Hotel, and we will celebrate the graduation of your sons and daughters. Clearly, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have a wish and a dream that this will go ahead. It is a beautiful moment. If it doesn't go ahead, we do have a plan B and a plan C, and we actually got to plan D together last year when we were dealing with phase 2 for our graduation for our 2020 graduates. So there will be a significant celebration at the end of this year. Please, everybody, keep everything crossed that we do get the formal at the Fullerton. It's already booked. It is November the 12th, which does seem a long, long way away, but trust me, as 5th year is ahead of Year 12, it flies, it absolutely flies. We do term 1, we do the Strive program, we do the trials, we do the final exams, and it's, oh my gosh, we're at university. But we're not there yet. So we have Chinese New Year coming up, February 11th through 12th. Staff PD Day is on the 15th, and then we've got the trials, which are on there, and the students all have the assessment schedule for HSC and for IB. If you would like a copy yourselves, please email me and I'll happily share it with you. I'm sure your sons and daughters will as well. So where have they been living? What have they been doing? Clearly, this is their beautiful, debatable, common room, and you can see a Christmas tree on the shelf just by the window. I rushed to take the photograph at lunchtime today. I think there's a lone Aussie pie on the table in the middle and a half-drunk carton of Ribena, which is quite symbolic, I suspect. You can see the coffee machine, but you can't see the new sink, which has just been put in for the first time in 5 years. We actually have a sink in there so the kids can make their lunches and things and clean up after themselves, which is a new skill for some of them. The Strive teachers for 2021, great team. There's some real depth of experience here. Miss Chen was with us last year. Miss Sharif has been at the school for a number of years. Mr. Vlahov, you will probably remember, parents that were here in Year 9. Mr. Vlahov was head of Year 9 3 years ago, clearly. Miss Barr joins us from the elementary school, and Miss Loney joins us from the humanities department. So enough from me. Let's have a little look at your team looking after your sons and daughters. Hopefully this works. Fingers crossed.
We're your wellbeing coordinators for this year. My name's Bernadette Ward, and I'll be looking after Year 6 to 8 students. You'll see me around the school teaching English and Indonesian.
My name's Duncan Rose, and I'll be the wellbeing coordinator for Year 9 to 12. I teach EAL and science.
We're part of a really big team here at AIS. There are so many people here to support you. Strive teachers, subject teachers, the counsellors and the curriculum coordinators. We all work together to look after you as best we can.
The people you're most likely to see on a day-to-day basis, though, are your heads of year. They're responsible for your Strive programme and will be guiding you to be the best version of yourself in 2020. AIS is a PERMA school. PERMA is an acronym we use in wellbeing to describe some of the attributes that contribute to your success. These include things such as positive emotions and the ability to be positive in your day-to-day work, engagement, being involved with your work, relationships that you have with your peers and teachers and family, meaning, connecting to a bigger thing than yourself, being part of a community. Accomplishment, which is the work that you do in your academic studies in order to become the best person you can be. And health, to ensure that you are healthy both in physical terms and in mental terms.
Hi, I'm Miss Looney, Strive teacher of 12W. This will be my first year as Strive teacher, but I'm really looking forward to helping and support students of 12W throughout the ups and downs of year 12. It's going to be a challenging year, but definitely an exciting one for them once they've completed and got through it. If you do need to contact me, please see all my details on Connect. Reach out, don't hesitate. If there's anything I can do to help support your kids, just let me know. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, parents of 12Z. Welcome to 2021. My name is Miss Judith Chen, and I am really pleased to be your child's Strive teacher this year. So I've been at AIS for about 7 years now, and this is my second year taking a Year 12 Strive through to graduation. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact me at my email, judith_chen@ais.com.sg. Have a good night.
Hi, my name is Chris Vlahoff. I am the Strive teacher for 12V. I've been at this school for nearly 10 years now. I teach in the Commerce Department, teaching predominantly economics and business studies. Some may remember me actually back a few years ago. I was actually the head of Year 9 for this cohort. So I've been on a big journey with this year group. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting down to on a more personal level with them. I don't have to tell them off as much being their Strive teacher. Yeah, so I'm very keen and very excited to...
Happy 2021 to you all. Welcome to your 12 Strive and your final year of high school, final year at AIS. So my name is Azlifa Sharif. I am a science teacher at AIS and I teach chemistry to seniors. This is my third year at AIS. Previously, I was teaching in Sydney for almost 15 years. Prior to that, I was a teacher in the Maldives. So I taught GCSEs and advanced civil chemistry.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Barr and I'm an English teacher here at AIS and also the Year 12 Strive teacher. I look forward to getting to know your sons and daughters this year and helping them through their final year of school. I will be your first point of contact at the school, so please jot down my email address. Have a wonderful year.
So, there we go. A beautiful team hopefully welcomes your sons and daughters every morning from 8 a.m. in the top corridor at AIS. Clearly, we have the analogy of the mountain. I share this with the students, have done for the last couple of years. The students are far from alone at AIS. We surround them with guides or Sherpas, if we want to stretch the analogy a little bit. Clearly, your lovely parents, guardians, our careers department, you'll be hearing from them shortly. The curriculum coordinators, their teachers, me, their head of year. One of the key things in year 12 is every student has a mentor. That's one adult who has volunteered to look after the young man or young woman on their journey through year 12. We try to make it someone who doesn't teach them directly, so there's no bias or there's no preconceived ideas about what should be or shouldn't be. And the mentor will guide the students through what happens this year. If a student is struggling, the mentor can reach out to me or to the appropriate teacher in the subjects that they're struggling with, and we can coordinate a response to support that student and tailor their individual needs to what they actually need. Clearly, as teenagers, who's the most important thing in their lives? We'd like to think it's the parents. I think it is, with push comes to shove, but they're mates. And I would say that the atmosphere in the corridor has been absolutely fantastic since we came back. Clearly, they know each other. You should see how the two new kids that have started, how they've just been welcomed, assimilated, and now it's just within less than a week, it's just been, wow, they're already part of the village in year 12. More contacts. Our counsellor for this year, Ms. Lucas, has gone on maternity leave. Congratulations, you have another baby. So we have Supriya Kotval, who is our very experienced Year 12 team counsellor, who's already making a big impact with some of our students. Daily Strive times. Strive teachers are here from 8 a.m. So if students can arrive from 8 a.m., and many do. And up to now, everyone's been here for, let's say, 8:30. Everyone's been here for 8:30. The odd one's just a little bit late. I do explain to all the students that we are not on holiday, we are at school. If there are 3 late in the space of 2 weeks, then that equals a Friday after school detention. And we already have just one out of 113 kids. So term 1 in Year 12 is about belonging. It's about building relationships. It's about making friends, so keeping old ones going, making some new ones. We go under the Strive banner, which is strength, thrive, resilience, international mindedness, values, enjoyment and engagement. And we put as well some things into there because Year 12 is probably, it's stressful for the parents. It's, oh my gosh, within a year, my son or daughter could be going away to university. And it's massively stressful for the students as well. So my role as head of year is hope to put a little bit of fun and enjoyment into things that are going on, because the curriculum coordinators will have lots of expectations about submissions and deadlines, which is, that's what the curriculum coordinators do. Term 2, about becoming. So we're going to start celebrating. We've got some key milestones in term 2. And then term 3, we've got the trials, and term 4, it's the final examinations. But let's not wish our lives away. Just to give you a flavour of what they're going to be doing in term 1, I did ask the students what they would like to happen in Year 12. And loud and clear, they've said for the last 4 years, and this year is no different, don't overplan, don't make us do all these things, as valuable as you might think they are, Mr. Midgley. Give us some time to do some independent study. So I launched Love Mondays this week and reminded students, they're Year 12s, they do kind of know already, but reminders about what independent study, good independent study looks like. So Monday morning is up to them, and they should be quietly working in Strive, getting on with any deadlines or homeworks or projects or assessments that they need to do. That's their little catch-up on a Monday morning. Wednesday, I've retained as that belongs to the year group, to us. We have Miss Glisson doing a wonderful, quite enigmatic presentation on relationships this morning. And then next week, we have Dr. Grogan, our head of school, who will be delivering the history of disco to the students, which takes us nicely into a presentation on love from 12V, I think are doing that one. And then the Valentine's treasure hunt will take us up to Chinese New Year. Hopefully keep everybody sane as we stare down the barrel of a 10-week term. Some little basics here, a bit of housekeeping. Handphones, as usual, they must be in the locker from 8:20 to 3:30. I do turn a blind eye, to be honest. They are Year 12. I don't mind them checking them at recess and at lunchtime, but I would confiscate them if they're walking down the corridor with them. Uniform, all the uniforms look absolutely brilliant at the moment. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for making it such a good start on uniform. Only 2 students had the wrong shoes. As my first slide said, the wrong shoes is just annoying for me. Lockers and property, please just check with your loved one that they put a lock on their locker. I still see some without, and some students do leave valuables in there, which is 99% of the time perfectly safe. It is Singapore, but it's best to take temptation away. Please put a lock on the locker. Everyone has a hat. We all know this. CCAs, as Mr. Bird said, are now back on. Massive sign-up from Year 12, which is great. Healthy bodies, healthy minds. I am old-fashioned. I do expect courtesy. I told the students when they began, they start with 100 points. And every time they fail to open the door, or fail to say thank you, or please, or excuse me, or just give the time of day to someone that offers them a good morning or a hello, then I knock 3 points off. And we do have chats, particular chats at 90 points, 80 points. And if they get to 70 points, then I will be asking you guys to come in and have a chat with me as well. Computers, we take them off electronics at break time, so certainly can check their phone at the locker, but not wandering around with it. Bicycles, we know where they go. Foul language, we don't tolerate of any description. I do pull students up, but this year, nobody, not one yet, touch wood, has needed a counselling session from Mr. Midgley. Bullying of any kind is not tolerated at school, and we'll have an anti-bullying week later, beginning of term 2, I believe we planned that one, and that's bullying of any kind. Any antisocial behaviour is dealt with swiftly and severely. Singapore consequences, pretty much. Zero tolerance on any forms of the behaviours on the screen, but I've got no worries really. I don't expect any of that to happen this year with our lovely Year 12 of 2021. Everyone's hair is a natural colour. That's great. We've got no pinks, greens, blues, purples, browns, oranges, all those things. Maybe brown will be okay. So that's good. Thank you very much indeed. And jewellery is at an absolute minimum, as we all know. Homework. If you would like to know what homework your son or daughter has, please sign up. Google Classroom summaries should be emailed to you each week. If you're not receiving them, please contact your child's Strive teacher and they will arrange for that to happen for you. So you can be a participant in the Google Classroom. Classroom etiquette, just reminders, that's what we expect. Be on time, be awake, focus on one thing. You have one bow and one arrow and one moment. Target, fire it, use it. The curriculum overview, contacts here for your DP coordinator, your core coordinator, HSC, and careers, Mr. Sheb, who you'll be hearing from shortly. Just as a reminder, this presentation is recorded. A copy of the presentation and the recording will be on Connect later on today. So, in the careers department, we have Mr. Sheb and the lovely Miss Dompor. I'm just going to check. Does anybody have any, if you have any Year 12 questions specifically, I think it's probably best if you type them into the chat now, if that's okay. Just while I hand over. Are you ready, Mr. Sheb? Yep. I'll hand over to Mr. Sheb. While he's doing that, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box, and then I'll answer them at the end of Mr. Sheb's presentation here. Right then, Mr. Sheb, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Midgley, and what a privilege it is to work with you. A hearty good afternoon. Welcome. My name's James Sheb. Perhaps many of you have already seen me in action, if you will. And certainly a big welcome. This is a very exciting year. It's a year of transition for your students. I really wanted to take this opportunity to reach out and to touch base with you. Obviously, with COVID going on, this is a period of great uncertainty. I don't have all the answers. We're seeking out answers as we go. The situation is fluid. And as a result, we have to be adaptable. We have to be flexible. But it's also very, very important academically, from my perspective, to support students and their goals, to have a bit of an understanding on key dates now and key objectives. So Mr. Midgley is going to make this presentation available. My contact information is there, as is the lovely Miss Dompor. Now, in week 1, we gave a virtual presentation. We videoed it. The link is there, so if you want to watch the video to hear what some of the things that I spoke about, or if you want to cut to the chase and you just want to see the slideshow, that'll be available as well. The reason I make that accessible is because there's a number of hyperlinks on it that you might find useful. So that being said, a couple, we tried to boil it down as best we could, coming up with a few key essentials. First, foremost, numero uno, term 1, we will have our third formal meeting with your young men and young women. Remember, it started in year 10, term 2, and we were talking about curriculum choice and course selection. We met students again in year 11, term 3, touching base, how our courses, getting that ball rolling. And so when we come in, we certainly want the students to update their Google Doc, their Google Future Planning Doc. There is space for parents to put in input. And of course, parents are always welcome. It's encouraged. This is an important crossroads. And at this meeting, we're very much laying out their expectations and key dates. Now, on that key dates thought in the previous presentation, so if you go back a slide to where there's the slideshow presentation, you can find a link to a timeline. So when we meet that final time in the Google Doc, we will really lay out the timeline for the students in terms of their applications and deadlines and what they need to gather. On that note, some of your students, some of your young men and women might be like, I still don't know what university I want to go to. Now, we've had some chat. Students are always welcome to come in. How do I learn more about universities? It's the new normal. Things have changed. In the past, we could get university reps in. They could speak firsthand. In the past, students could visit universities to get a feel for what it's like. Obviously, these things are different. Every week I send out a Careers Weekly. I've tried to shorten it a little based on feedback and just mentioning the schools that we have listed for webinars and virtual reach outs. If you go to the hyperlink to connect, that'll take you to the careers page, and there'll be a bit more of a descriptor of that. So we're trying to shorten the weekly emails, make them more accessible, viewer friendly. But that's a first stop to start being able to have a closer look at what are some of the universities. Now, this year, it's an unusual academic year in that we're going to be on holidays through the end of September. The students only return in early October. Most applications through the tertiary application centers, the early round, are due at the end of September. Now, our HSC students are done at the end of term 3. So what does that mean? How does that impact us? Well, from a tracking perspective, we've set a goal of September 10th for university applications to be complete. This gives us a week of time, one more week in week 10 to chase down students. Where are you at in the varied stages? Remember, HSC students, September 17th, they're gone. They'll only return for exams. So it becomes trickier for us to contact them. So if there's one date that you burn into your brain right now, it would be, my young man, my young daughter, my young woman, I want to get my applications completed by September 10th. Some of you we know are interested in scholarships. Those are trickier to come by. Here's the deal. Your young men and young women go to the Australian International School. So right off the bat, it is very difficult to establish what's known as a needs-based scholarship. A lot of the scholarship money is out there is for socioeconomic reasons. People don't have the means. That's very difficult to establish if your child is at the Australian International School. That being said, there are also what's known as merit scholarships, and that's where you're a bit more into the game. If the student's performing particularly strongly or does very well in their HSC and the ATAR that gets generated, or does great in the IB and gets a great score, there might be scholarship opportunities. If you are coming from a particular background or some sort of niche, there could be money available. But by and large, because of the cost of the universities, the amount of scholarship money is limited in Australia and, in fact, in the UK. Canada, US, there is more money available, and it really depends on the country, and it's hard to cover them all. A lot of you will be looking at, where's my child going to live? Certainly with accommodation, you should get that ball rolling in May. Now, in the past, you could visit residential colleges and whatnot. The earlier you start, the better. And remember, deadlines can vary. In fact, some applications will only open up in like October. So it's a bit of a tricky one. It's hard for us to say with any hard or fast rules. But at the end of the day, it's very important that you're as supportive as possible for your child. There's a few sort of bumps in the road that are coming up. Following Chinese New Year, there's a 4-day blackout period. The students are off on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There should not be any formal assessments. Then the following week, there'll be some summative assessments. That could be a high pressure time. If you want to support them by encouraging them to, definitely take a break during that long, those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that 5-day break, but also use their time efficiently. Why? Because these summative assessments where they'll be getting feedback are going to contribute to the predicted grades, the IB predicted grades. So this is more for IB students. Why is that important? Well, right now, the May session for IB students, those in the Northern Hemisphere, it very much depends on the country. whether or not they'll be actually giving the exams. We expect the IB exams to be available. If I was to be honest with you, private schools, because they've decentralized the decision making, private schools have the choice to offer or not to offer, and we expect a lot of in the private sector paying for schools to want to offer this. So what does that mean? Well, based on last year's experience, they would have to generate a grade using two things. Because the students who don't write exams, how are they going to generate the grade? They're going to look at the student's predicted grade, and they're going to look at the student's IB coursework. Now, the IB has changed the weighting of this coursework. In the past, it was 20 to 25%. Now we're seeing 30, 35%. Why am I talking to you about this? Because term 1 and term 2, there are bottlenecks. And these bottlenecks are submitting the IB coursework, the first draft or the final draft. Most of those pieces of IB coursework will be in by the end of June for their subjects, and they're massive contributors to their final score. So this term 1 and term 2 is a very challenging term. Students will go away for the break, then they'll come back, and using that time over the break, you take a break for sure, but understand that it's really, really important, their mock exams. Because if they don't write their actual exam,
that's all we got. Yeah.
Their result is going to be based on that. Now, how is it going to happen with HSC? It's a very different ballgame. But again, it's a fluid situation. From careers perspective, we're going to try and we set a goal of trying to reach out to year 12 parents on a monthly basis. Keep your eyes open for those. It'll be through Google Meets. There'll be an interactive opportunity for you to communicate with me, share with me questions, concerns. We want to keep those lines of communication open. If you're not sure, drop me an email, pick up the phone. We can make an appointment. We're here to help you. We know there's going to be some anxiety with your young men and women, and there's going to be some anxiety with you, and that's natural. And I can't promise you I will have all the answers all the time. But we'll work with you to get you to where you need to be. Okay? So it's a pleasure having this opportunity to talk to you. I want to wish all of you a fantastic year ahead. I'm essentially staring at a blank screen, so I don't know what the reaction is out there, or even if there's anyone out there.
No one's messaged Mr. Sheb. I think we're okay.
So have a fabulous 2021, and as I told the students, I hope every major decision you have to make this year is blackjack in 21. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Sheb. As you can tell, one of our wonderful personalities here in the Year 12 Village. Beautiful. Right then, I will now return. Hopefully you've heard everything that we've said. I can see that there are a few questions that have popped up. Thank you very much indeed. I'll just spin around so that the lighting is a little bit more civilized. There we go. The formal is November the 12th. Let's have a quick flick back to that one. Make sure we got that one correct. The formal, if it goes ahead, fingers crossed, is November the 12th. That is correct. Yeah. This is midway IB test. Any concern with students mainly focus? Right, this is after the IB exams, Raphael. So IB exams are October 25th to November the 10th. So they finish, November the 12th is the Friday, so IB finish on the Wednesday, is my understanding. Okay, so they're at the end of the IB and the HSC exams, which is normal. And usually, fingers crossed, that we have a full day of, a full morning of assembly. We'll have the prize giving assembly and the graduation assembly in front of the whole school, assuming everything's open. Then in the evening, we go to the Fullerton. Fingers crossed that's what happens, Raphael. Raphael concerned on teacher changes, business and economics. Get me thinking if we have to start looking for external tutoring, very unconscious class activities. Right, Raphael, I will answer that one separately, sir, in an email, because I'll just need to speak with the business and economics department, but I'll happily get back to you on that one, sir. Right, as per Mr. Sheb, the teacher's rotation on expected grades is concerning. The teacher's rotation, Mr. Sheb, the teacher's rotation on expected grades is concerning. Any ideas? Any ideas, sir?
Hi, I'm back. Yes, I can understand and appreciate your concern. Do I wish it was better, that there was less turnover, that the schedule was consistent? What can I tell you? You know, sometimes students become very comfortable with teachers, and you know, they can always come back to the teachers and ask for additional support. Would be one way to go, and just keep the lines of communication open, both with the teacher they presently have and their former teacher. If their teachers left the school, that's a different kettle of fish, and that's part of things. So I don't know how best. I see Mr. Bird coming online, so he might have some insights to offer. But that being said, your son, if I'm not mistaken, Alessandro, has shown a great deal of resilience in the past, and he's certainly a capable young man. And you know, if he gets on with things and if he stays on top of his work, so I would really suggest forward preparation in the sense of trying to read up a little ahead, coming to class prepared. So that you know, the lessons that he's having, it's more about just sort of comprehending on a deeper at a deeper level of understanding. I don't know if that helps you, sir, but that's what I have, and Mr. Bird might have some offerings as well. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to just say that it's staffing Year 12 is our absolute first priority, and we do everything we can not to change any staff from Year 11 into Year 12. But unfortunately, with this situation we're in at the moment, some staff had to leave. Some staff were at the mercy of that were on LOCs, were at the mercy of their partner's job being lost, and we just have no ability to retain those people at school. And some wanted to move on. So it's just what it is in the transient nature in Singapore at the moment. And so the people that we've got in and the people who are teaching these classes, we are very, very confident that they will get their students to where they need to be. What the most important ingredients in all this is your children, and your children working hard, and the teachers will work as hard, if not harder, for your kids than they work for them. So I can guarantee you the people in front of your children are experts and know the curriculum inside out, and will absolutely get your sons and daughters to where they need to be. So I hope that gives people comfort. We are a transient place, and COVID has had its impact on AIS as well. We have lost students as well, and we've lost staff throughout as victims to this pandemic that we're in. But the people who are here, we have great confidence in. In fact, we've got a fantastic Year 12 team of Strive teachers, and generally our subject teachers in Year 12s are experts. Are the best teachers we have in the school. So I hope that gives you great comfort that your children are well looked after.
Yeah, the ones that are appointed will probably be more rigour from their appointment
absolutely, and
than the ones from previous. Yeah.
If you've got any worries, get in contact with the individual subject teacher for sure, and you'll find that they're more than happy to talk about that. Hopefully you're all on the Google Classroom as well, and you can see what's going on and have great confidence in the resources that are worked with your kids. And just reinforce that and follow up. If you feel that your son or daughter needs tutoring, then that's a choice that you need to make. But we would hope that we're giving them all the key ingredients for success this year.
There certainly should be enough here. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Bird. Okay, guys, that kind of concludes us for this evening. Thank you very much indeed for being present, for all those that could. If you couldn't, we certainly understand and respect that. People have got work and lives and totally get that. So if you're watching on the recording, thank you for watching the recording as well. If you have any further questions which come to mind, please contact me at the contact details on the presentation I shared earlier. Clearly all the contact details are on Connect, and this presentation will be posted very shortly to my page. Okay, guys, thank you very much indeed. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for listening. See you soon.